Hey everyone, I'm gonna do this. I've got so much to say. There's been a lot of things over the past few days that have really made me pretty angry, and I kind of have a lot to address. And uh, there's, I'm simply amazed at the lack of self-awareness by so many people in this community. It's unreal. And the jealousy that goes on in this community. I'm gonna say that over the past few months, there has been this amazing sense of community on, quote, our side. I don't even like that, but whatever. The creators that all get along. There's been this renewed sense of community amongst them, and it's been really amazing because we as subs feel like we can go into whatever chat we want. There can be two of our favorite creators streaming simultaneously, and we can split up the time between them, or we can alternate and watch one live and then watch the other on replay, and then the following day do the opposite. Or we can just bounce to each one while we have like this amazing option of so many different creators that we enjoy and want to succeed, and they all want each other to succeed. And I'm real thankful for that. I think it's a good thing. And I think it's a great thing for the subs because there was so much time of uncertainty and fighting. And, I think it has evolved into a solid front standing against the BS. And I think that it's actually been a good thing for creators and subs. Well, I've never been like a big fan of Jonesin. I don't really like her attitude. But I've found it really interesting that her new thing is reviewing BJ. And she says she's doing it because she's calling out how hypocritical Clue is. Now, I myself think that all of us can be hypocritical. We're human. We don't like to see the negative traits in ourselves. So all of us are hypocritical at times. I agree with that. So it applies to Jonesin too. She's hypocritical when she's reviewing Clue. So that's kind of interesting to me. And what I also think is great is that BJ can't review Clue by herself. She either has to have Kim on a panel with her doing the calling Clue out and insulting her, or she has to play Jonesin's review of Clue so that she can play off of what Jonesin is saying. So pretty much Jonesin does the insulting and BJ agrees and laughs. And that's what she does when Kim's on panel. Like BJ can't do it by herself. So now she's got Jonesin to be her, no pun intended here, got Jonesin to be her bulldog for her, who's fighting Clue, and she gets to jump on that and use that to go against Clue because she can't do it on her own. But then she wants to act all big and bad. So it's quite hilarious. And I will give her credit for something that she did say that's correct. And that is that BJ wanted to initiate this back and forth with Clue. And actually BJ started as a fan of Clue back in the Idaho 4 case. There's actually a stream on BJ's channel where on January 15th, BJ has got Riddler on her panel, and Riddler is giving compliments to Clue and Cletus and talking about he's gone up on their panel. And you can hear it in BJ that she gets pretty jealous and is like, well, I guess they just don't like me because they don't even acknowledge me in chat. She's like, I go in there all the time, but she's saying that they don't acknowledge her in the chat. And you can tell that there's jealousy there. You definitely can. So May 31st, BJ goes onto Nonsense's panel, and she does this because Nonsense had been calling her out for the transphobic remarks that were made in BJ's chat a few months earlier, whenever they were calling Nonsense Lady LaDude, and BJ was okay with it and letting it happen in her comment section. And I'm gonna say this again, that is a form of transphobia, and calling someone a tranny is not appropriate, BJ. But whenever you encourage and allow people to misgender others, or you're doing it, you're saying that it's okay to do that. You're setting a precedent that it is an insult to misgender someone, and that it's okay to do that. Whenever you have transgender people that fight against this every day, that don't want to be misgendered and are repeatedly, and it is hurtful to them. So when you allow it and you're using it to insult someone, it is 100% transphobic. So BJ is mad that Nonsense continued to call her out for the Lady LaDude comments about her. So BJ chooses on May 31st to go on Nonsense panel and confront her. And so one of her big things to use is how can you say that about me when you support Clue, who has used the F slur against somebody? So if everyone remembers, Smoke doxed, Clue, and Clue went on a rant and she called him the F slur. Okay. Now, what's crazy about this, and this is extremely hypocritical, BJ's man uses that word. I have heard it with my ears. That's the reason she got demonetized one time, is because he was in the background and he called another male creator the F slur. And so BJ defends that and says, well, he wasn't using it against the gay community. It wasn't like that. So this was a campaign that BJ started, and she was going around to creators telling them that they should be calling out Clue and not supporting her because she used that word. And that happened. And this was before Clue ever said a word about her. So Jay says this on Nonsense Panel, okay? And we go forward a little bit. June the 3rd, Clue has a stream, and she is talking about the night before she gets told that BJ is streaming her content. And according to Clue, she had been giving like comments in her chat a bunch that BJ's talking about her, and that BJ's going around, trying to turn people against her about this, slur being said. And let me make it clear, at this time, it was simply the F slur. It wasn't anything else. It wasn't the JB crap. Okay. This was about the F slur. So Clue had been hearing that BJ has been going around talking about her, trying to turn people against her. And then she gets told that BJ is streaming her content. So she goes to BJ's, she goes up on the panel to talk to her. And, BJ's usual excuse is, I don't have a problem with you. I was just using you as an example to nonsense because she was calling me transphobic, but she supports you using the F slur, I'm sorry. And so Clue is like, why do you have to drag me into it? Why are you talking about me? What does this have to do with me? And BJ just kind of keeps saying, I don't have a problem with you. You were just an example. But she's also been going around to other creators saying the same thing. So it wasn't really the full truth, as usual with BJ. Clue also at this point is telling her, I don't know who you are. I don't talk about you. I don't do anything about you. I don't know who you are. Just stop talking about me. Just stop. So, setting it out right there. Okay, so then we fast forward to June the 10th, and Clue addresses BJ on her stream because BJ has continued talking about Clue, and now she's moved on to talking shit about Clue because she's mad that Clue is talking negatively about Seth and about the age difference between Katie and Seth. And, Clue has stated that there's such an age difference that some people see that as predatory behavior, and it's the truth. That's everybody's right to feel that way, to have that opinion. Sorry that BJ doesn't like that, but that's how it is. Okay. So Clue goes live and she's telling her, look, I don't like you. I don't know who you are. And it's true because whenever BJ was coming into Clue's chat when she was doing Idaho 4, Clue didn't know she was a channel owner or a creator. I'm sorry. So she didn't, acknowledge her and talk to her and pull her up on panel and all that stuff. Clue did not know who she was until she started bringing Clue into her mouth. So while Clue is reviewing this stream of BJ, of course you can hear BJ's kids in the background. So Clue makes a comment about what she heard. It wasn't anything bad. It was a comment about what she heard. So, but to BJ, that's people attacking her kids. So how that probably went over. Clue again tells her, quit talking about me. I don't talk about you. Don't talk about me. And we'll be done. This will be over. And look, I'm going to address this now because this is something that I'm most angry about and I'm just going to get it out. Okay. BJ, every time you talk about Clue, there is a mention of she was married to a chomo. She's married to a pedo. She had responsibility in her child's trauma. Cletus might be one. Clue might be one. She used it to get money. All of this stuff, you say it every time you talk about her. Every time. I'm so sick of hearing the word chomo. That is so disrespectful. I'm so sick of hearing it. I would come back at you too with, I'd probably say anything if you're up there talking about my child's traumatic experience every time you talk about me. That should not be something that is weaponized. Her ex has nothing to do with YouTube. Should have never been brought here. Should not be a discussion. She has nothing to do with him. He has nothing to do with YouTube. He doesn't know who you are. He doesn't care. So sick of hearing, he's in North Carolina and you're trying to imply that because that's her ex, that's who's going to come after your children. Stop it. You're sitting there knowing that Crafton has a full website doxing her entire family while you sit there putting that on that family. You keep saying your family's in danger because you were doxed. Well, how about being doxed and somebody going live saying that you support predators or that the man living there is a predator? You don't think that's dangerous? Think about it. I'm sorry. That makes me so mad. There's also a channel and you know about it. You're promoting it, BJ. Promoting it. And I know you know what's on that channel. Doxes and accusations and disgusting stuff. So good luck taking somebody to court. Because, you're promoting and supporting that. No, you've done way more defaming than they ever have. And there's something called defamation per se, where a person doesn't even have to prove damages because what is being said is so damaging that it's expected that there's going to be damages. I don't know if that made sense the way I said it, but basically, if you're calling someone a child molester on a public platform and they have a job or reputation, they don't even have to prove that your words damage them because that's going to damage anybody. Those words are so egregious. They will damage anyone. So you're stupid for doing that every live stream. And it's sickening. And there are victims out here that are affected by that. You know, I'm so proud of Clue and her daughter that they are strong and they have risen above and they have healed from this. And I'm so happy for them. But there are people listening that aren't healed. There are people that were victims that are hearing this and it triggers them. It triggers the trauma response in them. We can imagine what it would be like to have that being said about our perpetrator. I realize now that you don't give a shit about victims, BJ. And it shows because you continue to say this over and over. Because you're not just affecting Clue and baby Clue and Cletus. You're affecting every victim that has been through that and suffered shame, blame, fear. It's a terrible thing to do. And you're an asshole for doing it. And if you think Clue isn't going to respond to you when you're saying that every day or promoting that channel every day, you're ignorant. Because that's one of the lowest things you can do to somebody is use their child's trauma to weaponize towards them. And you do realize that Clue talks about you every day because she's reviewing what you do, right? So you can go live and say, just stop talking about me, Clue, after you've spent an hour trashing her. So you think she's just going to ignore that hour of trashing? Now, if you go live and just say, stop talking about me, and then you move on, and don't interrupt your true crime streams, which they weren't even true crime, but you don't interrupt those for little drama bits because you do. You're never doing just a straight true crime stream. You're doing that intermixed with drama in between. So when Cleo reviews you every day, she's reviewing you because of that stuff that you're saying. Because, well, I mean, honestly, if I was them, I would be building a defamation case against you. So I'm kind of going through the things that you said last night. So let me see. Another thing you said was that other creators don't understand that your man's your biggest cheerleader and he loves you, has your back. I'm okay. I've seen Kyle defend nonsense and be her biggest cheerleader. I've seen Cletus defend Clue and cheerlead and do everything for her. And you will hear her talking to Cletus and you're like, listen how mean she is. Sarcasm, BJ, sarcasm. I now understand that you don't know the meaning of that at all. And it's kind of sad because that's a lot of people's humor. Then you want to go back to the teeth. You flat out state, Clue has no teeth. I've seen pictures and you pull up some pictures of her supposedly without teeth. So what? So what? Some people don't have teeth. Some people don't want it pointed out. I don't know about Clue. All right, she looks like she has beautiful teeth to me, so whatever she's had done or has is great. But what if they are? Who cares? How many of your subs have dentures or veneers or implants? Would you mock them if they were on camera? Is someone less than you because of their teeth now? This is the crap I get so sick of. Until you've lost teeth to a car accident, to a chronic disease, to a DV, to anything else, until that happens, shut the fuck up. I'm sick of it for real. You spend so much time obsessing over Clue's teeth and her forehead. It's weird. You have literally studied every inch of her face. You talk and talk about how insecure Clue is, but yet you're the one that could probably draw a portrait of Clue without even looking at her because you have spent so much time studying her face. If you are so secure, you wouldn't care if she put your cam slip next to her pic. You wouldn't need to search her flaws in her picture or in her live stream night after night. You've done the same thing with nonsense. You have sat and examined her face close up for every imperfection. I wouldn't be surprised if you took actual measurements of her nose and forehead. Again, if you're so confident, why do you feel the need to tear others down? Because nonsense doesn't go for looks. Has she started to now? Yeah, because you wouldn't stop. And again, I think that the only thing nonsense said about your looks was calling you ugly at one point. Not sure about that. I will find proof for it because I am going to go back and make a timeline of how all of these fights with these creators started with you, how you started it. So I'll find out, but I'm pretty sure the only thing she said was refer to you as ugly. And then you started calling her, her body looks like a man, her face looks like a man, making fun of her face, everything. So you do the same thing with her. But yet you sit there and go, somebody that's secure doesn't have to tear apart somebody else's looks. Exactly, VJ, exactly. We all know you obsess on her looks. You have an obsession with Clue's mouth and with Granny and Nonsense's noses and foreheads. And tell me one time you've put up a good picture of Granny because you say that they only pick up bad pictures of you. Tell me when you've put up a good pic of Granny because you usually go back to her cam slip or a screenshot taken at a bad angle or when she's mid-sentence or something. I've seen it. Give me a break, BJ. You go for looks more than anyone I know. You have watched the video of Clue coming down that hill so many times, it's ridiculous. And the post-sedation nonsense video, I mean, kills me that you act like you don't do it. But, okay. And you're absolutely dying for Queen Bee to come on camera, so you can do the same for her. And then you want to act like, oh, she's a coward, she doesn't want to come up on camera. Okay. Oh, and Clue's eyes. This is another thing. My husband has a glass eye. He had an accident on the playground as a child and lost an eye. He spent most of his childhood wearing an eye patch and going through surgery. He's now almost 50, has a professional career, and is very self-conscious about that eye. I know Titanium Belt on here has said that she also has one. So stop. You do not know what people have going on in their lives. Because if that was my husband sitting there trying to do a live stream and both of his eyes aren't looking the same direction, they don't always because one is glass. And how dare you make fun of that? You don't know what you're doing. You need to stop with that. And also going after someone's intrinsic attributes, like how far apart their eyes are or the shape of jaw. I mean, anything that they can't change that's part of their bone structure, body structure is against TOS, just so you know. And then you say you only go after looks because they came after yours, and that's not true at all. You also say that you go at Clue because she thinks she's beautiful, and she's not. Well, guess what? Clue thinks she is beautiful, and what's wrong with that? You say that you're self-confident, but you can't understand that Clue looks in the mirror and sees herself as beautiful, and that's what confidence is. And I've actually seen people in her chat say, actually like thanking her because they have made them feel more comfortable about the size that they are. That they see her and that she's comfortable in her own skin, no matter what people say about her. And it inspires other people to be that way too. So it doesn't matter what you think about her. She sees herself as beautiful, and many others do too. But you're trying to tear her down because she thinks she's pretty. So tell me who's the insecure one there. It's not her. And I'm just going to tell you, this Bible quotes and Christian stuff, no. You said one time you were trying to live like Jesus. Girl, you took a wrong turn somewhere because no. You are not living a Christian life. You are not speaking Christian words. You are judgmental. You are greedy. You are everything that you shouldn't be as a Christian. You make other people not want to be Christian because they think that you are what it represents with your prayers and quotes and stop. Nobody's looking up your kids. There is this act called the COPPA Act. I think that's how you say it. COPPA. Protects minors online so that people cannot access their information. Okay? So nobody's searching and finding things about your kids online. The only thing people can find about children that are under the age of 13 are things that you or your family has made public. And I'm going to post here a screenshot of you making a community post that says public information is available to everyone, because you're encouraging people to go look into people's public information. You know, your comment about now that it's turned on you, you want to say it's illegal to weaponize public information. You mean like Senator and Johnson have done to Queen Bee's police reports, and Senator is doing to her custody hearings, like y'all have done to everything in Clues Past and weaponized that? And you yourself have accused Queen of strangling her child because of those police reports? That's weaponizing. And I'm pretty sure that in your mod chat, you had pictures of Granny and her family and their police reports. You also use public records to attack Chris and Katie and bring out every secret in their life. You use your panel guests have created channels and websites about Clue with all kinds of public information on there that are used as weapons completely. And Senator's your mod, and he's the one doing all this to Queen Bee. So kind of sucks when it's turned against you, huh? But they can't find anything on your children that isn't publicly posted. So there's that. I'm so tired of hearing that people are doxing your kids. I have made a video, have shown you doxed your children, BJ. The screenshot where you showed your back office with your child's YouTube channel, you did that. Nobody would have it if you hadn't done that. And let me use your whataboutism. If Granny had shown her back office, you would have grabbed that so quick. Don't tell me you wouldn't. Don't tell me that. You would have done it. And Nonsense wasn't holding on to that because of your child being on there. It was because of the information about your channel on there. Because you like to gaslight people and lie. It wasn't about your kid. That's another thing. You putting out that everybody's stalking your children is also very dangerous. You do this to everybody. You did it to Granny. You said Granny was stalking your children and obsessed with your children. You accused Queen Bee of being basically a child predator and wanting images of your child. You accused Nonsense of stalking your kids and of taking out audio portions to keep for herself. And now it's Clue, obsessed with your children and stalking them. I mean, listen, people have channels with their kids on them. And you know what else they have? Whole channels that are attacking their choice to have their kids on them. Okay? That's how it goes. And it's not like an occasional, oops, my kid came in, I couldn't mute in time. It is you reading the probable cause affidavit of Elijah View and saying that you let your kids lay on the couch behind you while you read what happened to this child in front of them. No, they can't hear what's being said, but you're reading the affidavit in front of them. Hearing them terrified because you've fallen asleep. It's the things that you leave and you're not trying to block it out. It would be different if it was an occasional accident. You know, you keep saying, what if somebody did this to QB's child? What if somebody did this to Clue's child? You know what? We don't even know Queen Bee's children's names. I don't know Baby Clue's name because they don't share all of this stuff with everybody. So yeah, it would be different if it happened that way with them because they haven't given us the information. BJ, you have handed their names out multiple times. You allow them to come speak. You've allowed them to promote memberships. You've allowed them to sing happy birthday to your mods. You've allowed them to ask for Roblox money. You have integrated your children into your channel. And now you're going to get criticism for it. That is how it works. And at this point, I have to wonder if you're not doing it on purpose. Because by God, you can hit that mute button when Craig is in the room. You're on it in a second. Your kids, nope, you don't ever mute it. You just let them go. So it does make you wonder. And I'm telling you, go look for any channel that has kids featured on it. and then search for, well, when you search for it, you're going to find the channels that are attacking them for it, that are questioning it, that are saying it's wrong. Okay, because that's what happens. Anything you put out, people are going to commentate over, they're going to critique, they're going to criticize. You can't think that you're special because of it. And you can't accuse everybody of stalking your kids because they disagree with what you're doing. And you should quit with the whole, you don't watch these creators. Better talking about you. You are the most gaslighting person I have ever met. We have seen the screenshots behind the scenes where you are saying that you're watching these channels. We've heard mods that have left you say that you spend all day watching these creators. Describe how many times Clue vapes in a stream. And then you were saying that, like, you don't watch them, so they're wasting their time. That they're over there talking about you all day long and you don't hear a word of it unless you review it on your channel. And they're just wasting their time. But then you're also saying that you're being stalked and harassed every minute of the day and it's overwhelming and ruining your life. So which is it? Are they wasting their time and you don't know about it? Or is it ruining your life because you hear about it every second of the day? And if the only time you know about it is whenever you're reviewing them, then don't review them. Then you won't know about it. If you feel like it's important to you to save certain things from creators, have your mods record it and save it where you don't see it, and only tell you if it's something serious that you need to know about. That would be a great way to relieve yourself of the stress of it. You were laughing saying that it's hilarious that people think you're conspiring and plotting behind the scenes all the time. Well, we think that because we've seen it. We've seen proof of discords and mod chats and group chats where there's all kinds of plotting and planning going on and gathering information. So yeah, we've seen proof of it. And you, BJ, have said that people are sending chatters into your chat to get you in trouble. So Clue simply said the same thing back. That maybe you're sending people into your chat to say things that you can react to and create more drama. You really have zero self-awareness whenever you talk about these things that we have seen proof of. And you really are constantly telling us that we're not seeing what we see or hearing what we hear. I don't really want to bring this up because Nana doesn't want to be used as a weapon. So I'm not going to say too much about this. But it says a lot whenever someone genuinely comes into your stream and comments that they hope Nana is doing okay, that she sounded bad. Your response to that was, I wish she'd quit going over there into those chats. I've told her and told her. And it wasn't until like 10 minutes later that you actually showed concern for her. Because if truly that was your friend, your initial response should have been, oh no, I hope she's okay. Let me message her. Or what did she say? Or message someone that does contact her. But you weren't concerned about her. You were concerned about where she was talking. And last night, you were rude as fuck to her. I don't care. You may have been saying things that weren't blatantly rude, but your tone of voice and the dismissive nature that you were talking to her, it was obvious to her that you were very put off by her. And because she wasn't coming in there falling at your feet, apologizing, you were mad. And you were basically wanting her to pick. If she's going to keep going over there, she's not welcome there. That's how it sounded. We didn't come and get anyone. Nana voluntarily came to us because she can see things. You know, something major has happened in her life. I don't agree with a lot of things she said or did after the initial prayer was done. But I also know that she was going through something pretty traumatic in life, and it is easy to get caught up in the drama. And I think right now she just needs support and peace in her life. I truly was concerned about her after hearing her talk on Nonsense's panel. She sounded truly broken, and the things she was saying, I was concerned about her. But she is talked about over there, and you are only concerned with who she's talking to. You had such an attitude with her last night. Can you just be nice to her? Even if it's a short amount of time, can you just let her get through the grieving process and be polite to her? You got super triggered whenever you heard Cletus say that you have no right to tell anyone where to go and you claim you don't do that. BJ, yes, you get mad at your people for coming into other streams. Irony Rose came into Clue's stream. She came back and was mysteriously blocked on your channel. Muscles and Mascara went up on Queen Bee's channel. Haven't seen her around since then. I know you claim she is, and maybe she's under another avatar. I don't know. But there's been others also that have come over into the other chats to talk or even to argue, and they come back to you and they've either somehow gotten unwrenched or blocked, and you don't know how. And it's a bunch of bullshit. When it happens one time, maybe it's the truth, but when it keeps happening, you're doing it. And then you're saying that someone told you or asked you, why aren't you striking people? Because you keep complaining about stream sniping. Everybody's stream sniping you. And by the way, stream sniping is whenever you're live and they are restreaming your current live. It's not restreaming your lives from, a day ago. That's not stream sniping. Stream sniping is when they're actively playing what you're saying at that moment. Okay. So someone said that to you and you're like, well, I don't know who to strike. Well, you had one person stream sniping you at that moment. Don't act stupid about it. There's some really odd reason why you're not striking people. I don't know what it is, but you say that you don't want to get into strike wars. Well, if everything's, going by the terms of service on your channel, you shouldn't even worry about that. And if people are really killing your channel because they're doing this stuff, not striking anybody for anything is odd. There's something up with that. I don't know what it is, but I will tell you that when this RICO ruling happens, they're going to get your financials. And if you're hiding anything, it's going to come out. Because something is weird about that. You can't complain as much as you do about other people using your content and other people harassing you, and you don't ever strike them or report them for anything. Another thing you said is that you own Clue and Cletus. That's funny to me. It's funny. You don't own them, BJ. You don't understand that you are entertainment to them. Watching you is entertainment. They could talk about anything and get a crowd because they have personalities, they have charisma, they have, they put something into their content that people like. So it doesn't matter who they're talking about. They're going to get people over there. The same with QB, the same with Granny, the same with Nonsense, the same with Jay. They just have those personalities that people are drawn to. They could talk about anything and they're going to get viewers. You don't own anybody. You're literally their entertainment to laugh at. You're like a reality TV show that people watch just to laugh at the people. That's what it is. One thing I cannot understand is why you put so much stock in what strangers on the internet think about you. I really don't. So, one of the main things that people have problem with is whenever you got your kids out of bed the other night to come and verify something to people on the internet, or calling your daughter to verify something on the internet, you are putting the opinions of strangers above the emotional well-being of your children. If what people are saying online is not true, then why does it matter? As long as you know your truth, your family knows your truth, the people that you love and have close to you know the truth, it shouldn't matter what the other people think. This is the thing. The people that like you are around you and are gonna like you. You're not gonna change the other people's minds. You're not. It doesn't matter what proof you try to show. I mean, it's the same thing with us. We're not going to change minds over there. And there's no use in trying to force it on you. It's not going to happen. So like example, you woke your kids up to interrogate them about whether or not they stayed at their grandma's house. When all that happened was QB had said that your kids had gone to the grandma's house for a few nights to stay while y'all did repairs. And you felt it was so important to correct that you got them out of bed to come talk to the internet. And then they walk away calling us haters. I didn't even know what to say. Like, you have got to realize that It doesn't matter what people on the internet think. You have got to rise above that and put yourself and your family first and quit worrying about the stupid shit. That is what is giving you stress. That is what is making you tank your channel, because you cannot go on and do content without correcting some stupid little narrative that you've heard. When you said that your husband, Craig, is a real man, I'm sorry, your man, Craig, is a real man, because what kind of man gets on here and does drama with women all day? Did you tell that to Kim? Because the last I remember, Crafton is on the internet all day doing drama on Natasha's panel or your panel. He's also spending a lot of time making an entire website on Clue, gathering information. And so I guess he's not a real man either, because he's doing stuff regarding drama online. And quit trying to be a martyr, for God's sake. You know, Natasha Cooper went through this, her legal fund that she made because so many people were attacking her and it was so bad. Granny went through this whenever TT was restreaming her every time she went live. You saw Tiffany go through this with her pictures and things being shown on here and the flashlight harassment. You saw Amber go through some of this. At some point, you have to look forward and quit looking back. You can have a mod filter your emails so that you're not getting, which I don't think you check your emails anyway, but let a mod collect what you need collected and keep it where you don't have to see it. Have your mods block anyone that comes in chat starting drama or any trolls that come in trying to start something. Build your channel back up. Listen to what your subs are saying. You have got subs complaining daily about you continuing the drama and not doing other things, and how you need to stand up and not have such a thin skin. Many people have been through what you're going through. You're not the only one. It's actually shocking that you made it this long without being doxxed, but because you said last night that if they stop attacking you, they're going to find someone else to attack. So let them. Don't be a martyr. Let them do it. I'm going to address this comment that you pinned again, because I heard Joneson applauding you for disavowing the comment after you pinned it, that you probably didn't know what it said when you pinned it. No, I'm not giving you that. No way. I've watched you long enough. You know what you're pinning, because you normally only pin your regular commenters that are there every night, your super chats, or a troll comment that is saying something you can play victim from. You read those comments before you pin them. I know you do. I've watched you long enough, so I'm not giving you that shit. You did that on purpose. Plus, I've heard you blatantly say that Clue protects predators and that have people on your panel saying that she basically pimped out her daughter. So you go for that type of rhetoric. I'm not buying it. You did that shit on purpose. No. You may fool Joneson and your people, but you're not fooling me. I know you well enough. And you want to say quit talking about relationships. They're none of your business. Didn't you accuse Jay of cheating on her husband? Weren't you accusing Chris Proudfoot of wanting every person to be wife number 6? I think you did. Okay, I gotta wrap this up. This is so long. I'm so sorry. So you have this belief, BJ, that everybody is over here. We're like mindless zombies who clock into YouTube in the morning and get our assignments and then go carry out our job assigned to us by our leader. That's not happening over here. That may be how it is in your little group, but not over here. We are free thinkers. We go where we want. We do what we want. We say what we want. If I don't agree with what a creator I follow is saying, I can disagree in the chat and I don't get blocked and I don't get yelled at, and it's okay. We carry on. That's how it works. Your viewers think for themselves. We're not luring people away. If they leave your community and come to ours, that's their choice. Maybe try reading your comment section and seeing what your viewers are unhappy with and addressing them instead of ignoring the people that support you. Quit focusing so much on the quote haters and focus on what your supporters want. That should be what is important to you. And lastly, the whole in tears saying you're not the sole proprietor for the RICO injunction. No, you're not, but you are the reason that Granny got added to it. You sure are. You are the reason that they started looking at Granny, going after Granny. You gave them what they needed to be able to add Granny. So without you, there would have been no injunction because they couldn't have done RICO with one person. And you gave them what they needed to be able to add Granny to it. And don't say you weren't looking to ruin anyone's lives, because RICO is accusing someone of a criminal enterprise. You're saying you weren't out to do anything but make her shut up. That's not true. There was the money to get a lawyer. There was the fact that they were demanding that they take down all their streams that had involved Sebastian, which was a large amount of content, and also was infringing on their freedom of speech. They have a right to cover a case just like you do, and you say it repeatedly. So you had a big part to play in the RICO and how that played out. And it was most definitely going to have a big impact on Granny's life in multiple ways. Again, you have to refer to what RICO stands for, and you're accusing someone of being part of a criminal enterprise. Would you have just agreed to that? Signed off, took down all of your content, kept people from mentioning Sebastian in your chats from that point forward, let someone control what you're doing and saying? No, you wouldn't have. But you wanted to put that on Granny, along with the thousands of dollars that she's paid in attorney fees, no matter what she's raised. An attorney costs a lot more than that, and I have a feeling you're going to find that out. So to end this, basically, BJ, the stream he did the other day was absolutely disgusting. It was extremely low. It was some of the nastiest stuff I've heard. Genuinely upset me. It did. I think, it didn't even upset Clue as much as it upset me and probably other viewers because of what it triggers in people. And you don't seem to understand that. And people still going around saying that people are overlooking racism and bigotry to add somebody to the BJ hate, referring to Clue. And look, this is what I have to say, and it's just me, okay? I don't hate anyone. I have taken care of patients of all cultures, colors, ethnicities. I have learned so much doing that. And I'll have to say I was probably a little ignorant going into nursing about all of that, but I learned from it. And I loved it. And I treat everyone the same. Everybody to me is a patient that needed taken care of. Didn't matter the economical status, the color, the gender, the sexual preference. None of that matters to me. And that's my views. I don't agree with the things that Clue said in JB Gunner's chat. I personally wouldn't be in JB Gunner's chat. Okay. What I do know is that I sat back and watched Clue on her channel for a while, and I never heard any hatred from that point on. And if I heard anything like that coming from her, I would be gone from there. I wouldn't be in there. I also know that what I've seen from BJ over the past year is transphobia, homophobia, and racism from both her and her partner. And I have seen the very people that are complaining about the support of Clue in her chat supporting her after her transphobia. And I believe hate is hate. Transphobia, racism, homophobia, it's all hate. It's all equal in my eyes. And we have no place for it. But I have seen people support BJ despite the blatant hatred because they see her as a victim. And I think that's wrong. I don't think that you can point fingers at others while ignoring it on that side simply because you feel sorry for somebody. So my other thought is this. Look, I sincerely live near a county that is all Caucasian. There's a yearly festival that happens there that is known around here to be an all Caucasian festival. There are people that grow up in environments like that. Hate is taught. Hate is learned from either passed down or from the environment you grow up in. How do we change anybody's point of view if what we give back is hate? How do you convince someone that what they hate is not what they think it is unless you show them? I don't know if that makes sense, but for example, if I were gay and someone were homophobic, I could steer clear of them, call them names, all of that. And they're going to just continue their way of thinking that they don't like gay people and the way they act. Or I could accept them, speak to them, show them that I'm not what they think I am. And maybe they can change their views. And I don't care what age you are. I believe that that can be unlearned. I believe that that can be replaced with good thoughts. But I think returning hate for hate gets us nowhere. And that is simply my view. Nobody has to agree with that. I'm sure many don't, but just wanted to put that out there. I hope everybody has a really good weekend, and I'll talk to you soon.